And for our last hive here, we are worried about queen health on this one, so we definitely want to check the brood pattern and see what is going on, if she is going to make it, or if we want to think about doing some walkaway splits and then replacing her here in a month. That's kind of what we are looking at. I'm still bundled up because we got some guard bees that are not enjoying my presence. So yeah, let's get into it and see what happens. Alright, so we fed this one as well, just because Queenie is not doing too exactly what we wanted to see from overwinter hive that did a double deep. Ate all their sugar, which is more than expected. It's been a week. It did get cold here and snow on Friday, so I did not want to feed them again with the freezing temps, but obviously we can see a lot more bees at the top here. That's a good sign. Yeah, there's a good sign that we have a lot more bee activity than we did last week. So first job is to pull this outside frame. Treated all the hives on Thursday for the first time with oxalic acid using a vaporizer wand. Just a quick scan, looking for Queenie. She should not be on here, but you never know. There was a time that I put an end frame on the ground and Queenie was on it. About lost her. Already had all my gear off, put away. I was just coming out here and watching the hives, and all of a sudden I just saw this fat bee trying to fly back into the hive, and sure enough, it was my queen. Obviously, you don't want your queen outside the hive. So I picked her up, tossed her in, and she went on to live. It might have actually been this one, come to think of it. This is my oldest queen. This queen's this is her third summer, but that is a good looking frame. There is all of a sudden a lot of bees in this box, so something we were really worried about last week is something that we are not so worried about this week, and that's the way beekeeping goes. Is you're like, oh, I got a weak queen, need to really worry about her. Then all of a sudden you open this box up, trying to look down into those things. I don't see Her Majesty anywhere on here. A soft little blow. Trying to catch the light just right here. And like, I sure don't think I see eggs. Let's try the next comb here and see what's going on. Push these cells down really well here. And she is now in the second box. We got larvae. Fun to find her. We got eggs, so she has been here in the last 3 days. All of a sudden we have a laying queen. I am not going to feed her, but I think we need to put a super on, just because we are in the second box. She is all of a sudden working hard, ramping up. Look at this end comb here. See if there's anything we got to worry about as far as swarm cells go. I don't see any swarm cells. Just any queen cells, queen cups. You're supposed to put them back in, but no, I don't know which way. Which way she went. You're supposed to put them back the same way that you pulled them out. What really matters is you got brood frames together, food frames together. You don't want to put a food frame between your brood frames. So, I know that this is a brood frame. I'll leave it at that. Again, they have bridged these frames with the bottom one. See if we can see Her Majesty anywhere on these. We got some nectar coming in. All of a sudden this hive is looking fantastic. And again, we got lots and lots of young larvae, eggs. We're going to throw a queen excluder and a super. Black bee. This black is just crazy on like the different genetics. Like, how do you think that black bee came to be? You know, everybody else is. Got some couple black bees in here. Again, not seeing queen, which is fine because we've seen eggs, and that's really, you know, she's alive. You know, she's been there in the last day or two. So for me, that is what you want to see. So we're going to scrape this edge comb off. Looking like for sure we're going to have to make 2 splits this year. I wonder if you can just go about and make like one huge split. Take 4 frames from both hives. Just make one regular normal sized beehive. I can't run more than 4 hives back here due to city code. So 4 hives is the max. I'm at 3. So I'm kind of at the point where either I make that 4th hive, sell a nuke. That is a good problem, right? Oh, it's great. Like after 4 years, finally not having to spend hundreds of dollars a year on bees. Might actually break even this year. Alright, putting this hive back together. We saw queen. They are doing so much better than last week. Saw queen activity. We didn't see queen. Saw queen activity. They're doing much stronger than last week. We are going to put a super on them. And then these friends are going to have to be split. Alright. Put her back together. Actually, I don't need that because we're not going to feed them. Take that and fill it with super frames. Call it a done day. Alright, so we got our super queen excluder. When I first got into beekeeping, I bought all plastic queen excluders because they did not have the nice fancy wooden ones. And I'm like, oh, I really want the wood ones because they're nice and fancy and they look better. And when it comes down to it, the bees don't care, right? So I also wonder if there is a difference between using a plastic and a wood-bound queen excluder. So we're going to throw a plastic one on this one, kind of compare where this hive is with the super compared with our first hive with the super. So hopefully Queenie's going to be like, hey, I got some more room up there. Gonna stop us from swarming for another week. Really, we're just problem with Colorado and swarming is you just can't rely on the weather. So even though it's 60 all week, like they could hatch in the 16 days it takes a queen to be fully developed and hatch, and all of a sudden we'll have 2 weeks of snow, right? So the risk you play when you're doing walkaway splits and your own queen. I do like my genetics. My bees are pretty calm as beehives go, and we can keep that nice calm genetics. Definitely for a backyard. I got 2 daughters, you know, one just an infant and a 2-year-old playing in the backyard. So we want some nice bees. We don't want them going after anyone that's in the backyard. So that is it for the 3rd hive. I hope everyone is having a fantastic time. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think.